Tua Tagovailoa.
Say it 5 times fast.
His eye black. Have you seen it where he does like the big cross instead of just doing the horizontal lines? You haven't seen that?
No.
Oh, it's funny. He does the horizontal lines and he does like a big vertical line to make crosses under either eye.
He loves him some Jesus.
Yeah.
He is like the hula version of Tim Tebow.
Yeah. I know it's wrong to like want somebody to break their neck. So that's why I don't want him to break his neck. But I wish he would just give Satan a chance. That's all I'm saying. I feel like he hasn't heard both sides of this issue.
You think Jalen Hurts would like make a blood sacrifice or something?
Oh, that's who we could get on our side.
Yeah.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Book Club, the podcast where we read books and talk about them. And my name's Elijah Crowder. I will be the carrier of the conch this week.
And I am Dylan Crowder.
And I'm Ansel Crowder.
And I am Dylan Crowder. Let me get that in there clean one good time.
I'm Ansel Crowder.
Didn't we decide last time we were going to leave last names out?
You sound like the guy who read Lamb the Gospel According to Biff Christ tried on Childhood Pal because we bumped the speed up to like, didn't we?
Yeah, it was like 1.5 or 1.7.
Yeah.
No, like it lagged out just a second ago, and you said what you just said in a Alvin the Chipmunky kind of way. It was very comical.
Mm.
Who do you call it? Fuckstick.
You know, like people listen to podcasts at increased speeds.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? Like we could actually sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks to some people.
I mean, I don't personally do that because A, what's the rush? B, like whenever you're in a position where you have to listen to it at its normal speed, it's going to sound weird then. It's like you're going to get used to these people talking so fast that when you hear them at their normal speed, like if you like go see them live or something like that, it's going to be off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that that's just kind of terrifying that somebody might be listening to me at Alvin the Chipmunk speed.
Well, the way it works is it speeds you up without changing your pitch. So you speak at Alvin's clip, but not his.
Oh, but not helium voiced.
Right.
Oh,
that's how.
Well, that's okay. I got no beef with that. If you're a busy person,
you sound like the Micro Machines guy. You remember the Micro Machines guy? Have you heard about this?
I do remember the Galoob guy. Micro Machines from Galoob. Yeah.
Dylan probably being a millennial.
Surely he remembers the Micro Machines guy.
I recall the Micro Machines guy. Like that was played to me while I was in the womb instead of like Mozart. It was Micro Machines commercials.
Millennial Farms remembers. All right, very good. I took a swing and missed. All right.
I was okay with that. No, that was a tip foul at least.
You think so?
Maybe even a bloop single.
I'm going to start off by introducing the book. Can I do that? Can we talk about?
You can do that. You're the conch
book
holder.
we were going to read. All right, thanks. The book we read, for the most part, some of us maybe kind of, sort of, was Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian, or what? I can never remember the second title. The Evening Redness in the West or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
the evening wetness in the red, something like that.
Gross.
We'll just call it Blood Meridian, because it's bloody and I made it halfway through. So, guys, as I always do, just give me your first impressions.
Ansel, you go ahead.
I actually did not read this book. I'm sorry. I don't really have a good excuse other than I just had other stuff that I would much rather have done in the last 2 weeks than read. And then I looked at my watch. I'm like, oh, it's book club time. And then I knew it's like, okay, I'm never gonna get this read in time. So I just didn't even try. So I apologize. I'm sorry.
I told you last week it was a tough read. Yeah, I told you it was a tough read like last week. But you're shitting me, right? Like I made it through half, and that's what trying. Like this was hard, and you okay.
No,
May I remind you whose idea book? May I remind you? May I remind you? Whose fucking idea this podcast was?
Hey, don't look at me, buddy.
I can't.
It was your idea to have a book club.
It was my idea.
It was my idea to have a podcast, and we just kind of smashed those two ideas together.
So
Dylan, did you read the book?
Like deadlines and shit.
I got about as far as you did. I got about halfway through.
Okay.
And I do get like there's a reason that I only got that far, and I imagine you're going to touch on this a little bit. It's a very brutal book, like unsettlingly brutal, and even this is coming from the Wikipedia page. Critic Harold Bloom admitted that he found the book's pervasive violence so shocking that he had several false starts before reading the book entirely. I think this book is good, and I enjoyed what I read of it, and I do intend to finish it. But yeah, I can only take so much of it at a time.
That's fascinating. That's exactly where I am, and I actually hit a point where I couldn't take any more. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So I want Ansel's perspective on the first two chapters. Since he read the first two, those should be fresh in his mind, and he should be able to open us up into the Blood Meridian world. Ansel, if you please.
Okay, so this kid, he has kind of he lives a life where there's no future or anything. I think he's illiterate. He's dirty, and he runs away to go to Memphis. I think was it Memphis or
yeah, I think he starts in Memphis. Yeah,
and he ends up in New Orleans, and he gets into fights. There's a preacher who's like gets falsely accused, and there's a brouhaha, and then he goes to Texas. That's all I really remember.
You're doing fine. Go on. No, not to put you on the spot. It's okay.
Okay.
There's parts of this book I wish I hadn't read, and I kind of consider you the lucky one for stopping that early.
Well, in that case, I feel less anguished about this because I was really going to beat myself up over it. But
no, you totally should do that.
Yeah. I'll say like these are the things that happened in the last 2 weeks that sort of became a barrier to me reading this book. The weather has cooled off to the point where I could actually do some exercising in the evenings, and I've been kind of pushing myself pretty hard to make up for a whole summer of not really doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. So after work I do that, and also Dragon Quest XI just came out. So I've been playing Dragon Quest XI pretty hardcore. I'm like 24 hours into that. And then I got a new guitar, new axe, and I've been playing my new guitar. And those three things together, when it comes time to read a book, it's like I don't want to do this. I'm having too much fun. So that's really what happened. And I think I've kind of learned my lesson because today I haven't felt good today. I haven't been I haven't felt like a decent person. I feel like I've violated the golden rule. So I think I've learned my lesson, guys. Thank you for forgiving me.
Well, it's not so fast. You did say you did mention one thing earlier that really kind of put you off the book early.
Yeah, I don't like it when people use the N-word. I'm sorry. I know this is an older book.
Yes.
And I'm not okay with it. And even in like a historically accurate context, it's not okay for white people to use that word. So yeah, that was a for real turn off to me.
So I'm going to push back. I kind of. I'm not one to say that it's like acceptable or anything, but I can overlook it when it's, like you said, in a historical context like this. And this book in particular, it is based on true events.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Well, the part that you didn't get to.
Okay.
With where he's in the what's the guy's name? The
John Meridian.
Yeah, John Meridian's gang. No, help me out, Elijah. What was the name of the?
The
Glanton gang.
Glanton is the guy's name. Yeah.
Yeah, and they apparently were like, soldiers for hire hunting scalps.
Scalp hunters. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and a lot of this book was actually taken from a supposedly autobiographical work by someone that was in the Glanton gang.
Okay.
So, I didn't. It did kind of shock me like the first time, but I was able to kind of rationalize. This is a historical setting. This is how these people talked, and like they're not good guys anyway. Like, I don't like the characters that are saying that word.
Sure.
But I don't know. It didn't turn me off completely.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't turn me off. It's not like I just refused to read it. But yeah, I do have. Yeah, obviously. I don't like that. I'm just not a fan of. Not a fan of the N-word. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are around these parts.
No, what I found I had never seen written before was that the N-word was not just used for people of African background. They used it for the Native Americans as well, and the Mexicans. It was just everyone was N-word this, and it got to be pretty pervasive.
I believe like English people from England used it to describe like Indians and Pakistanis, like really anybody that's brown.
Didn't know that. So before we had vocabulary technology, that was just like the one word for anybody who wasn't white.
Right.
Well, I know the listeners right now are probably thinking, why would anyone pick this book that no one's going to read? And so I think there's an explanation that deserves bearing out here. This is our second Cormac McCarthy novel. Yeah. And I thought, it's been a year of Book Club, the podcast. I want to revisit that guy because out of all we read last year, his other novel was my favorite, and that was The Road. And it's still a top favorite book of all time. Like, I still love that book, and I'm ready to read it again. I'm huge Lord of the Rings fans. Friends of the show, this. Shitty Star Wars fiction I love to death. And, I have lots of stuff that I love, and Dune. But as far as like mastery of a novel, not talking about trilogy size works or anything like that, but just the mastery of an American novel, I had never read anything quite as good as The Road. I have never read anything quite as horrifyingly, terrifyingly brutal and visceral as Blood Meridian. It gets to a point where I couldn't take it anymore. guys, I'm going to tell you, I couldn't take it. I got to a point, I was on the subway, and I'll actually tell you where I stopped. And Dylan, I don't know if you got this far or not, but they come across the Apaches finally that they're hunting. I think they're Apaches.
Hey, spoiler alerts, man. Come on.
And yeah, sorry for that. And they talk about they have some Delaware Indians traveling with them, the tribe from the Delaware, the Native Americans. I shouldn't say Indians, sorry. And the Delawares are described as picking up 2 babies and by their feet and swinging them and smashing their heads open on the rock. And it then describes the brains, and I stopped reading. I just stopped. I couldn't, I'm a father. Just the imagery. I mean, he's so good at imagery, right?
Yeah.
That it was, yeah. I don't even want to talk about that part anymore.
Are you crying, Elijah?
No,
okay,
I was watching TV last night and I started crying. I'm 40. It happens. But no, I'm not crying now. I was severely disturbed by it. I'm not going to joke. I felt like I have to stop reading this. This is just not good for me at this point.
Yeah, I made it a little bit past that point. But yeah, that was definitely the most gruesome. There was, the first part that really made me go whoa was when the kid, the main character, the kid was with the irregulars. They were going down to Mexico to steal some land, as you're wont to do, and they get set upon by the Apaches, and that was a brutal scene where like the people that he was traveling with were getting scalped alive and just really massacred. I was like, whoa. And then, like, it just gradually got worse after that. Like, even after that point with, what you just described, Elijah, like, they got to where they weren't just hunting Apaches. They ended up just, like, anyone that they found that was, Native American or even, like, some of the Mexican towns, they would just go in and take their scalps for the bounty, and just were trying to pass them off as they're just indiscriminately killing and raping and pillaging.
This sounds like a horrible.
And again, it's based on real events.
Dan Cormac.
Yeah, it goes hard. It goes hard in the paint.
It's like that series of books, series of unfortunate events, but like for adults. No? Series of unfortunate events, Lemony Snicket?
No.
The bad beginning?
I did not read those.
I didn't either.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They
I
were
saw
a
the
big deal
film
for a while.
Saw the Jim Carrey film. But
I didn't see it.
it's good. Just check it out.
Yeah. I'll still read Blood Meridian because I feel like...
no, just like, dude, no, don't. Like, seriously, don't.
I do want to finish it because, like I said, it is gruesome and it is like almost sickening to a point. But it's very well written, and I think it is a very good insight into the darker side of human nature.
I think it's a good insight into the darker side of Cormac McCarthy. Jesus. I don't want to read it anymore. I have no desire to finish it. If it's that, if we made it halfway and they're smashing babies' brains out on the rocks, the pace and the way that the violence picks up throughout the first half of the book, I don't want to fucking know what's in the end of that book. I don't. I'm throwing in the towel on this one. I'm done with it. Ain't that the drizzling shits? That's my quote from chapter 7. Somebody said that. I think it was Toad Vine.
Yeah. One thing I do want to talk about, the character Judge Holdren.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very, very interesting character. Ansel, this guy, he actually appeared in that scene where the preacher gets falsely accused. Do you remember him talking about the 7-foot tall judge who was like suffered from alopecia? He's completely bald, head to toe, very pale.
Yeah. I don't really remember that, but
he later on becomes like a sort of almost like a supernatural character.
It's kind of like a Dr. Manhattan. It sounds like that.
No, more of like
visually, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
Well, he wore clothes.
Oh, okay.
And he was pale white, not blue. And he couldn't like change his height.
Okay.
But Elijah, you told me the part that you stopped at, and I don't remember if this is after that part, but the part where one of the other members of the party is kind of telling
the story about the judge.
Yeah, about how they came upon him in the desert, like they were being harried by the Apaches, like they were out of.
That was actually my favorite. Yeah, that was actually my favorite part of the book. Yeah,
yeah, and they just found him like sitting in the middle of this desert on a rock, and like he takes them and he goes and finds the requisite components to create gunpowder out in the wild, and as they're making this gunpowder on the slopes of a volcano with the Apaches like climbing up to get them. They put the finishing touches by peeing on the nitrate and saltpeter and stuff. It is pretty neat. He kind of MacGyvered some gunpowder out in the wild. And
sounds pretty. Yeah, this book sounds amazing.
And then they slaughtered the Apaches that were climbing up to get them.
Yeah. Yeah, good book. No, that I enjoyed that part. That part was really good. And you did. It's interesting, Dylan. You said it's well written. I pulled out 2 from chapter 4. Of you guys know the kind of stuff I like to read. He says, all night sheet lightning quaked sourceless to the west beyond the midnight thunderheads, making a bluish day of the distant desert. The mountains on the sudden skyline, stark and black and livid, like a land of some other order out there, whose true geology was not stone, but fear.
What do you think about that, Ansel?
That's beautiful.
Sounds pretty good, yeah. I like it.
You weren't just like reading tweets just now?
I was not reading tweets. I was reading the plot of this book.
Okay.
Because I was starting to fall behind a little bit.
No, that is a really good example. And
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that was in The Road, too. Sorry, but go ahead.
Right. No, and I was about to say, like, the reason that the scenes of, like, the ultraviolence are so impactful is because they are so well written. Like, if they were poorly written, I don't think they would have had the impact, and we would have been able to finish the book. But yeah,
I'll agree with that. I'm
just trying to remember how I really felt about The Road, and like looking back at it from like a year later or whatever, however long it's been. Like, I guess it was. I thought it was well written, but and I thought it was like a good artifact of like a hopeless situation. I think it was kind of the vibe I got. But I think like this sounds similar to The Road, but maybe it doesn't have a happy ending like The Road does. I don't know. How would y'all compare this to The Road, I guess is what I'm saying. Because Dylan, you're saying you like the writing on this. Did you like the writing in The Road?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
They waste a lot of meat in this book as opposed to The Road. Like in The Road they use the whole hog. They leave a lot to the buzzards in this book.
I'm 100% like digging into the position that in The Road you couldn't have like a stock full of live human meat because you'd have to the amount you'd have to feed them would be better nutrition if you just ate it yourself. I don't know. I'm not buying like. You know what I mean? It's like you can't have human livestock if...
Dude, that wasn't the point of that. The point of that was that they had captured those people from somewhere, from people traveling on the road, and were going to eat them.
Yeah.
Alive or dead. They weren't feeding them anything. They weren't feeding them anything.
You have to keep them alive.
Unless, no, they were in there eating each other probably.
I don't think it was like a long-term solution that they had.
No. That's just
Okay.
who they captured and who they were going to eat. I don't think, The fact that they were locked in a cellar doesn't mean it's like a wine cellar for human flesh.
That's kind of what I thought. I mean, they were locked in there, and it would stink into high heaven. And I kind of got the impression that this was just like a.
I don't know. Maybe that
tank at Publix.
Yeah, maybe we should go back and look at that and see. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I was just looking over notes from the road.
I can't, but I am gonna try to stop thinking about it.
What were you about to say, Elijah?
I was just talking about what Ansel was just talking about, the road. You forget some things, don't you? Yes, you forget what you want to remember, and you remember what you want to forget. And that's how I feel about, that's actually a quote from The Road that describes how I feel about this book. Yeah. So how's that? Ain't that the drizzling shits?
How is Cormac McCarthy still alive, right? The Road came out like in the mid
85.
2000s.
Or wait, not The Road. Blood Meridian was 85. Sorry.
One moment, I'll pull this up on the Wikipedia. He's born 1933. There's no death date.
Okay.
The Road came out in 2006.
Oh wow, I didn't realize it was that recent.
So, you want to rate this thing?
I've actually got a highlighted bit that I kind of want to read here, and I think it's kind of the what's the term, like the
anachronism?
No.
Solipsistic?
No.
Highfalutin?
Shut up. It's kind of like the theme of the book, like spelled out. So this is
the modus operandi.
Yeah, this is the judge, the character I was talking about a little bit ago, talking to some other members of the gang, and he says, "If God meant to interfere in the degeneracy of mankind, would He not have done so by now? Wolves call themselves man. What other creature could? And is the race of man not more predacious yet? The way of the world is to bloom and to flower and die, but in the affairs of men there is no waning, and the noon of his expression signals the onset of night. His spirit is exhausted at the peak of its achievement. His meridian is at once his darkening and the evening of his day. He loves games? Let him play for stakes. This you see here, these ruins wandered at by tribes of savages. Do you not think that this will be again? Aye, and again. With other people, with other sons." And, when I read that, I was like, dang, dude. That's what this book is about. It's about, the savagery of inherent in all men. Humans. General, women can be pretty savage, too.
Hand J to that.
Yeah, I don't know. That brings me to a question. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
Then I shall ask it. Do you think humans are still as savage as they were at the time that they were scalping each other? I mean, let's break this down between what we know in modern first world countries of the people that we know and interact with. Can you imagine this sort of thing taking place in, I don't know, pick a city in the United States? Pick a city in southwest Texas. Can you imagine this amount of savagery and butchery in the modern day and age? Absolutely. And I'm not saying I can't. I'm curious as to what you both think on that.
We are still capable of horrible cruelty. It's just a matter of fact, I think. I don't think there's... Yeah. I mean, there are children in cages right now, dude, who are separated from their parents. and nobody cares because it's still going on and nobody's doing anything about it.
Yeah.
People are posting videos of like homeless people like brushing their teeth on the sidewalk and like laughing at them. It's the same thing. It's just a different manifestation of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think what it boils down to is that there are still people out there that perceive others as less than themselves or less than human, and as long as there is that sense of, the other, then you'll have the capacity for scalping people alive and dashing babies' heads against the stones. Which
that's
I think
fucked
that's.
up.
I think it's like Ansel, what you just said. I don't think that's. I mean, it's awful, but it's not as severe as what is depicted in the book. But
Right.
I still think the capacity is there for that to happen.
I think. Yeah. Okay. I didn't read the book, so I don't know what happened. And apparently, it's pretty bad because you guys are strong of stomach and of will. So I don't know, but yeah, people are capable of really horrible stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of people being capable of really horrible stuff, I think this is a perfect time for Elijah's Media Minute.
Elijah's Media Minute.
All right, thank you, Ansel. This is a very special episode of Elijah's Media Minute. We're actually going to devote all 6 of Elijah's Media Minutes in the Elijah's Media Minute to Dylan, who's brought us something that he says he's going to need more than 1 minute for.
No, I'm telling you, I might need more than 6 minutes.
Well, you know what? You know what? We're going to mark this episode as not safe for work, and I'm going to go ahead and say, fuck this novel. Go ahead and tell me what you wanted to tell me, Dylan.
I sent something in the group chat. It's just a simple meme. It's the Kermit the Frog drinking Lipton tea. And the text
one of my favorite memes, by the way.
Yeah.
But that's
the
not
top.
It's more of a meme template, not a meme.
Yeah.
Itself.
Yeah. Shut up. Pet it. Read the book next time. The top text says, Brett Kavanaugh will be sworn in to the Supreme Court soon, and all Democrats are worried about is that they may not be able to kill their unborn children. And then bottom text says, but that's none of my business. So that is that's the opening salvo fired by this post on r/greatawakening. And I just want to say, RIP r/greatawakening. Since the last time we recorded, Reddit has thrown themselves in with the cabal and have shut down the Great Awakening subreddit. So this is the last, I guarantee this is the last you will hear on this podcast ever.
Or anywhere. Like once they've shut it down, like no more QAnon stuff. Like
right. And I was so glad that I had pulled this up before they shut it down, because it was literally like a day or so before it. And I saved this on my phone, and like a day or two later they shut it down. Okay, so the title of this post is Black Magic / Human Sacrifice / Spells WTF. So that's
we're gonna put all this on our Facebook site and everything. But
I've got the Reddit post saved as a PDF because I didn't want it to be taken down and not have it available to me.
Okay, we'll post it, but lest you think that we're supporting it, it's just for reference purposes only.
Well, speak for yourself.
Okay. Well. Okay.
All right, so buckle in, folks. This is a ride. So they posted that Kermit the Frog meme template, and
in case this is somebody's
first episode,
first book clubbing, will you just explain what QAnon is, and for me too, because I still don't freaking know what they're.
Okay, so QAnon is somebody within the White House, apparently, supposedly. That's what they make known. That is constantly leaking information to, it's like 4chan or 8chan or something like that.
So his name is Q. His or her name is Q.
I think it's QAnon or Q, something like that.
And okay, whatever.
I don't care. that much to know the details. But yeah, it's basically just a bunch of conspiracy theory bullcrap. All right, so into the post. They post the Kermit meme that said what that said. And it goes on to say, this is the text of the post. If you asked me 20 years ago if vampires, wizards, witches, black magic were real, I would have replied, are you frickin' nuts? Or say, you need help. Wow, was I blue-pilled back then. When the ones still sleeping see these atrocities, will they remain functional, rebel, be conflicted, and for how long? Granted, we are all different and will be received as such, but some people have been awake for a long time and have had a long time to absorb the truth. And that is truth with a capital T, I will kind of insert there. I've been red-pilling for almost 20 years now, and I still shudder is in bold, at the thought of what's going on. Yes, people are globally practicing the dark arts. It's all true. So how will they handle it? Before getting red-pilled, I figured it was all BS or so ultra-rare not to worry about it. Is that what we can assume, that those sleeping think the same thing? Is that what we can assume, that those... Yeah, bad syntax there. Oh, this I didn't mention. This is from Reddit user u/maxcrit. So he needs to work on his English there a little bit. I'm using my first-hand experiences too, and was hoping others could share their experiences so we can get a better idea on what to expect without giving up too much personal data. All right, and now he's got some bullet points here. First bullet point is black magic real? And he says, we know they believe so, Bohemian Grove, and then links to the Wikipedia page for something called Bohemian Grove. I didn't click on that link. Apparently the Cabal has something to do with something called Bohemian Grove. Projection. Many TV shows, and the links to the Wikipedia page on black magic and popular culture and fiction. Countless movies and cartoons using magic in many forms and degrees for decades.
Is it like the Addams Family and I don't know, the Munsters? Is that what they're linking to?
I'm sure it's on the list, yeah.
Okay.
No need to go further. Undeniable. Symbolism. Absolutely everywhere you look. And they link to a YouTube page. And they say, opposed to truth, Christianity, Torah, and freedom. Undeniable. Why blood sacrifice? To seek/request power, wealth, and favors from Satan and evil spirits. Also spellcasting? Why is abortion so important? It's defended vehemently. Do they care about free choice? Nah, apply mirror effect. Don't know what that means.
I'm sure that's some kind of insular Q thing. I don't know.
Yeah, probably so. He goes on to say, approximately 10 years ago and almost 10 years into red pilling, I had become extremely slad/mad and was pretty much on my own. Worried sick for my children's future, isolated, and info being censored. Good news is I have some older censored content that I can share over time. And this is kind of funny to me. One by one, my friends were gone. I went from always going places and doing things to hardly speaking to anyone or going anywhere. I wonder why, Max.
Yeah, it's weird how that works.
Jeez.
I'm going to skip a bit here. Anyhow, eventually here comes Mr. Trump, and that's in bold, and literally extended my life by giving me some hope. Thank you, sir, again in bold. You are loved much in our house, and we have been, in bold, praying for an outsider like yourself to run for and become president. And then it's some other stuff, recommending some other links. But I want to get to some of the replies. Bear with me here. This is from Magnus Veritas, the Reddit user.
I'm guessing. Let me. Can I guess?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna say that a lot of these are like they're like, oh, this speaks to my experience too. Like it's just like sort of.
There is some of that in the comments.
Okay, but that's not primarily what this is.
Well, that's not what I want to highlight.
Okay,
necessarily.
sure. Okay.
Magnus Veritas says, meme magic is very real. And he he links a WordPress blog here called PP Pepe. I'm sorry, not PP. Same difference. Pepe the Frogfaith.wordpress.com. I haven't gone there, but I might.
I never thought to pronounce it that way. There's Groiper now. He's the new one.
Yeah.
PP was the old one. This Groiper is he's the 10% more racist PP.
Anyway, Magnus goes on to say, QAnon is the second great meme war, as in the second mass manifestation operation. That's why memes are so significant. They focus and unite our attention. The true occult meaning of the all-seeing eye pyramid is that the final capstone is observation, i.e. the observing eye. The physical material exists, in parentheses, unkept pyramid, but our observation completes the construct of reality. The very meme magic that ensured Trump's election will dethrone the cabal. Kek, PP, is a manifestation of the Egyptian god of chaos. Search for mythologies of pertinence to Q, and you will yield only fictional popular cultural references. Nonetheless, you have the following two. 1. Q is a Star Trek character depicting an omnipotent being that can alter reality and is a known trickster. This directly confirms to Kek, a god of chaos. And 2. Discord, a character in My Little Pony, depicts a spirit of chaos. A reality-bending trickster who happens to be voiced by John Delancey, the actor who played Q in the Star Trek series. Q is a continuity of the manifestation of Kek. That's why Q is recommending memes. This is a mass manifestation operation, and it's not our first rodeo, nor will it be our first victory. Anyone who understands magic understands the memes are a form of prayer. Both achieve the one end that is focused intention. Memes are prayers.
This is like Major League 6 Degrees to Kevin Bacon. That's what this is.
It's just delusional. It's all so delusional.
Well, and
like it's so hard to even follow how delusional it is.
Well, I mean, they've got links for you to help follow it.
Yeah, I looked up the Bohemian Grove. It's a bunch of rich white fuckers in California that have land. Who cares?
Okay,
Anyway.
I've got one final comment, and this is at the very bottom of this thread. I got some downvotes from some of their fellow QAnon posters. This is from user Fuck Reddit. Is FUHKREDDIT. And like y'all need to buckle in. This is kind of a wild ride here.
That's why they got banned. Fuck Reddit played his hand too early.
Well, yeah, they got too close to the truth here.
Yeah.
All right, Fuck Reddit says, I just want to set something straight. Magic can be used to heal. And you reap what you sow, so these black magic practitioners, it destroys them inside after a while. Demons are nothing to play around with. I've been a practicer of magic for many, many years. It's a common thing with millennials. Here's a book for all you need to know about it. And let's put this on the club list. It's Franz Barden Initiation into Hermetics. I linked to a PDF of it. It's basically like Avatar, The Last Airbender. And it's very real. But you must have an open mind at first, and it takes a strong-willed and strong-minded person to do such things. I have had a gift for it since birth, and was chosen to do such work with God. While I could use my powers to destroy lives, why do that? I use them to heal. That is what we are here for, to help each other succeed in every way possible. After all, we are all just trying to survive in this fucked-up world. If you would like to know more, refer to this book and do exercises every single day. Do not, and I must highlight that, do not try to advance too fast, as you can severely harm yourself. Start out slow, and only when you have mastered each exercise, progress on to the next. I do not do any ritualistic type work, only healing and sometimes manipulation of consciousness if I'm being attacked by a person via negative energy, but it is to protect myself. God and I are very, very close. Thank you for your time. Love and light, my friends. And then edit. I have a second book as well.
Signed. Signed. Hold on. Love and light, my friends. Signed. Fuck Reddit.
And they link to another book. This book is religion-based, but it opens your mind and allows you to view the world more clearly and become a co-worker of God. I believe it allowed me to progress further into my work with the highest power. A great degree at that. I'd suggest reading it first to put you into the right consciousness and then progress with magic. Magic is nothing to be scared of, nor to shun. It's just that when it gets in the wrong hands, it becomes dangerous and evil.
I think Dylan's tipped his hand a little bit. I think I know what our next book is going to be.
To which there's a Reddit user on the r/greatawakening that replied to this comment. Stretch user Stretch Mac says, bullshit. And now, just think, this is somebody like on the QAnon subreddit that read that and was just like, no, that is bullshit. That's bullshit.
Yeah, for real.
So yeah, user StretchMac calls bullshit on that. To which FuckReddit replies, "Don't knock what you know nothing of. There are beings on this planet sent here from God who are here to help protect it. Just like there are extraterrestrial and clones who walk this earth in human form." And they link to something there. To the vast majority of people, it seems outrageous and blasphemous. But I know firsthand these people are very real. If I told you I could manipulate your thoughts, you'd call me crazy. But do not be jealous, because you can also do the same. I'm not here to prove anything to anyone. I do my work, and I'm done. I use it for good, and whenever my work is needed, I provide it. Light workers are forced to be silent about their work, for if the evil outweighs the good, this world becomes a lot worse. Try it yourself. If you think I'm lying, I have no reason to lie. I need more workers to help bring positivity to this planet before it is too late. All right. Are you guys ready? Because
I think so.
If you thought this was unhinged up to this point, you were wrong. Like,
well, the last Airbender doing her water bending and healing the world was kind of over the top.
This is where it gets real crazy. Okay, this is Fuck Reddit goes on. Did you know the Jews took over the Bible and manipulated it to their likings? The letter J wasn't invented when Jesus was given his name. Therefore, it was manipulated later on by the Jews as a disinformation tactic. I'm not done. Did you know DARPA has time warp technology that they stole from Nikola Tesla with the helping of J.P. Morgan? And Obama was chosen 6 to 7 years ahead of time to be the president of the United States. Did you know that crash in the desert, in parentheses UFO, was not a weather balloon, and they recovered a live extraterrestrial that a nurse helped recover for 6 months before it died? She used telepathy to communicate with the being. What about 666 Fifth Avenue? Bet you know nothing of it either, and how Donald Trump is the only one standing in their way of completion. Whatever it may be, he is the last building they do not have control over. The shape completes a pentagon. He is the fifth point. Bet you didn't know about how most rappers, in parentheses, Gucci Mane, Eminem, and then open another parentheses, and Michael Jackson, being the most infamous, are actually clones. What about the power related to HAARP technology?
How many likes does this comment have? How many upvotes?
Wait. Stop.
It's netted 1.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop. Who the fuck would clone Eminem?
Well, like, that's... They say rappers, most rappers, and the examples they give are Gucci Mane, Eminem, and Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Yeah, one of the greatest rappers of all.
Okay. I'm almost at the end, guys. I'm sorry, but I gotta get this all out there.
No, you're doing good magic for us, Dylan.
Yeah. It's it was worth the wait because it's making me chuckle down low. So,
what about the power related to HAARP technology, also stolen from Nikola, that they are using to cause Yellowstone to erupt, or the hurricanes headed towards North Carolina right now, or the smart meters on nearly every home of the U.S.? What about Monsanto, the lawsuits on Roundup that's killing millions of U.S. citizens, as well as the GMO cannabis they're pushing to the market that causes cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome? All of my information is intuitive. I'm a blessed being. If you knew your true God, you would have the same blessings. It's sad the sheep aren't ready for this information because the truth is very sad. But it's all bullshit, right? Haha, imbecile. You should be ashamed for not educating yourself.
Well, if it's all intuitive, how can you educate yourself?
That's all the information that Fuck Reddit chose to bless us with. Guys, is that satire?
And toward the end, I was like, yeah. I don't know. Like, I think I'm pretty sure it was Matt Chrisman on Chapo Trap House. I think he had the most astute comment on all this. He said like once you've convinced yourself, or once your brain's done the work to make Donald Trump somebody who is like good and cares about things and is sort of competent, is like you basically have broken your brain. So stuff like this is just a walk in the park at that point.
You've crippled yourself through these mental gymnastics. You fell from the high horse at a very high velocity in your mental gymnastics. But didn't just land on the mat. You fell from that high horse at high velocity, launched into a pit of broken glass shards.
Yeah, that's just. I mean,
and you're now
these people have oatmeal for brains.
Yeah,
and it's fun to watch, but it's sad that they're dragging us into this. That they're why we can't have nice things.
But yeah, that's what we're missing, thanks to the admins at Reddit that decided to shut that r/greatawakening down. So no more quality
Reddit.
content like that. I literally have this post saved in PDF form. If anyone listening to this wants to read it, we'll make it. I'll put a link in the episode description. Put it up on the website or something.
Wait, is it a coincidence? There are no coincidences. The Village Voice was just shut down too.
They got too close to the truth.
Damn.
But I mean, did you guys know the Jews took over the Bible?
I didn't know this about the letter J.
J wasn't invented back then.
I was trying to think of what good the letter J has done for me lately, and I couldn't think of anything. So there might be something to that.
Well, I was trying to figure out how Dr. J ties into all this.
All the worst Sesame Street episodes were brought to you by the letter J.
That is actually true. Man, you were so
the one with the
intuitive
Black Eyed
this,
Peas.
Ansel.
That was brought to you by the letter J. Yeah.
That one and the one with Billy Joel, which starts with a J.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy. No, wait. B wasn't invented back then. It was Jilly Joel.
That's that's our last look into the minds of the Great Awakening subreddit. It's been a fun ride.
I know you're gonna have to take up a new hobby. I think bocce ball is what I suggested to you.
Last time, you did. Yeah.
It's just there's a Q-shaped hole in my heart. That's for sure.
Oh.
Elijah's Media Minute.
Did I keep
All
that
right.
under 60 seconds?
I believe so, but I wasn't really.
Yeah, totally. But I'm going to go with ratings, and I'm going to go with my rating first. I'm going to give it half of a star. That's like bleeding profusely out of one side of it, like it's just brains and viscera, and I'm not going to say anything else about this book. Ansel, rating.
I'm going to give it an IOU. I'm going to read this book over, instead of whatever Dylan recommends. And I can tell you what I think of it next time. And eventually I'll catch up.
Okay. Fair enough. Dylan, rating.
I give this book 1 bloody scalp.
Okay. So bloody ratings and an IOU. Good. A bloody scalp. Why a scalp? Is there...
Because you get, you can turn it in for gold coins. So that's good, but it's also, really gross and bloody.
That'll wrap us up for Mr. Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian. Didn't enjoy it. Not going to finish it. It's the drizzling shits. It's too violent. Let's move on.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this conch. My book that we are going to club. We're all going to read this book, or at least attempt to read this book,
Sure.
Correct? The name of it is Roadside Picnic. It's a science fiction novel by the Strugatsky brothers. Arkady and Boris Strugatsky. So that is Roadside Picnic by the Strugatsky brothers.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, Elijah, here's the conch back. You can... And also, apparently, a dying dog has wandered into the studio.
That's the sound of the conch being launched to Elijah.
How did it go? I didn't hear it.
This is a dumb podcast.
All right. Okay. HMS listener, the listenership. I do apologize for this week's book choice once again. I'm looking forward to Roadside Picnic by the Asimov brothers or something like that.
Strugatsky.
Yeah, close enough. Can you spell that so our listeners can find it, maybe?
Strugatsky. Strugatsky.
Oh. No, exactly how it sounds, Strugatsky. Sorry, stupid of me to ask. You've made it through another hour-ish of Book Club, the podcast / Our Great Awakenings / whatever that was. Well, ain't that the drizzling shits? We've wasted another hour. Thanks for listening. You can find us on Reddit.
You can find us live on Reddit. You can find us at reddit.com/u/fuhkreddit.
Or our other subreddit, which is r/bookclubcast. Yes, we are still there. We have not been removed. We have gotten nowhere close to the truth.
I would recommend going to bookclubcast.com.
Yeah, you can find everything at
everywhere
bookclubcast.com.
else where we are.
Yeah.
Here's a call to action to the HMS listener. Do good magic in these 2 weeks. just put that good, because if the bad magic outweighs the good magic, then things are going to get much worse.
And that's a good parting note. Thanks for listening. Take care of everybody.